How you doing? I'm the Lyft driver that you called to take home your girlfriend.
Not a girlfriend, man.
Oh, credit card was invalid.
Come in. There you go. Pay yourself whatever and give yourself a nice tip.
Thank you. You're not gonna ask me if she got home okay? This is the point where usually I'd give you a chance to do the right thing, but not tonight. Tonight I'm gonna need your cameras, cell phones, anything you might have used to record what you did to her.
You knocked on the wrong door tonight, Pops.
Back for a second time. Did you need any convincing to come back for a second time?
Audiences said they wanted to see it. The writer came up with a really wonderful take and a more personal take, it seems, in a way. And I was pleasantly surprised, and off we went.
What did you kind of, I mean, before you'd even read the script, could you see where you wanted the character to go?
You know, I was busy, actually, shooting a little, directing a film, and so I sort of, you guys, go write it, let's see. And they did, and so it was a real, like I said, pleasant surprise.
When the idea of doing the second one was in the offing, did you need any encouragement to pick up the baton again?
No, because Denzel called me, we talked about it, and he wanted to do it when he read the script, and I thought it was pretty good too. So those two things together, it's hard to say no.
And from the script, I mean, could you see the way the character had evolved was in keeping with the thinking that you would have come up with?
Yeah, actually, I worked with Richard Wink, the writer. We worked pretty close together, and I thought he did a really good job of seeing the evolution of Robert McCall one step further, but not too far, right? You don't want to give it all away. And I felt he touched on the emotional beats that it needed, It was a little deeper than the first one.
And obviously Antoine's returning for a second time as well. Was that a key factor for you?
Absolutely, yeah, wouldn't have done it without him.
And what is it about him and you, because you worked together a number of times in the past?
Sure, I won an Academy Award with him. I got to play a cowboy with him. Now twice I get to kick butt with him. So, and we get along well. He's got a great directing style, and we work well together. So,
does it get easier every time making films together, or is it?
It's the same, and I mean that by saying we just do the work, right? And sometimes the work is harder than the other film. Like Magnificent Seven with all the horses and there's 100-something degrees. It's just hard. Just everything was just hard about it, right? The first Equalizer, Equalizer 1, pretty smooth. I mean, hard just doing the work, but nothing like Equalizer 2 with a storm and all these other things. See what I mean? So our relationship is easier because it's a shorthand and we know each other that way. But once we get to the set, it's all business, it's all work.
Airport?
Yeah,
Is it somebody's birthday?
my daughter.
How old is she?
She's 5.
As a film like this, there's obviously plenty of big action set pieces. What are they kind of like to film? I mean, because obviously they're very exhilarating to watch, but are they technically quite arduous to film and lots of takes and things like that?
Yeah, a lot of takes, a lot of angles, a lot of water. In this case, a lot of breaking waves and wind and smoke, and it's really, that's one section of the film I want to go back and look at again, and when I get a little further removed from it, just from a filmmaking standpoint, because there's so many shots. And just because I know what we did, then I saw what Antoine did.
I mean, there's some really good action set pieces in this, some great stunts. I mean, what are those like to direct? I mean, cars, car chases, things like that. Are those the best days or not? Or are they just...
Yeah, they can be, right? You know, it's like you're like a kid in a sandbox, right? But at the same time, you got a lot of responsibility, right? You can't just bang your cars around. You got to actually make sure everybody's safe, and you got producers all standing around looking at you, looking at their clock, doing this the whole time, and you got to technically make sure everything's working. And take two takes forever, right? Because you got to reset and get everything back up again. So they're fun. They're fun in retrospect to look at it on the screen. They're fun designing them. Sometimes they're fun shooting them. Most of the times not, until you see a shot or two that's great. Yeah, so they're complex.
What was the most kind of difficult day on set? What was the hardest thing to pull off?
Down there by the beach was the waves crashing, and it was.
And
it wasn't that bad. It was all right.
I mean, that last climax of the film particularly is a stunning sequence. I mean, where is that location?
There's an area called Brant Rock, Massachusetts, and was that north? No, I think that was south of Boston. And that's where we were.
I mean, it's incredible the way it's pulled off. I mean, literally the whole town in the wind, in the waves. It must have been a brilliant day to pull it all off.
Brilliant month. You didn't shoot it in a day. I don't remember how many days, but there's a lot of elements.
How did you find that location, and what was that whole set piece like to put together? Because it looked like a hell of an undertaking.
Yeah, great location scouts. Those guys did a great job. I wanted a piece of Americana. I had a very specific thing in my head. I needed something near the ocean. I needed a town that I could take over and do that. Basically destroy and put boards all over the place, board everything up, and create a hurricane environment. So when I found that town, and the people of the town were great. They let us come in and take over their whole area, and it was tough to do though, because it's just tough to create a storm, right? And you only have a certain amount of time of day, because you can't shoot at high noon, so you got to get there very early, crack of dawn, shoot as much as you can, go do something else, come back later, pick right up where you left off, remembering all the beats and cues, yeah. And so that means your days are short, but you have to have a longer shooting period. And it was wet and cold. So yeah, a lot of fun, mega movies.
Obviously, with there being two, inevitably there will be talk about three. Is that something you can already start thinking about, or again, are you going to wait to see how things go? Don't want to know.
Not right now. I mean, I'm busy.
What are you busy with?
Talking to you right now. But no, I'm we'll see what happens. First of all, the audiences decide that, not me. I mean, we're doing well in the States. We'll see how we do around the rest of the world. If the audience wants another, then and if the studio wants another, then I guess they'll go to the writer and see in 4 or 5 years, maybe. I don't know.
And what are you working on at the side of this? Because obviously you have directing as well. That's something you've invested in a lot more.
Just finished O'Neill's The Iceman Cometh on Broadway.
And anything we might see you in?
No. I got no films in the can. I'm unemployed. Need some housework done. Work around the garden.
Is that the kind of way you like it? Wait for the right thing to come along?
It's never one way, but yes. And you want to be surprised. You want to do it. You know what I mean? And that was the case in Equalizer 2.
Whoever we're looking for, a high-level assassin. They're cleaning up. Nobody's safe.
You have no idea what you just started. You shouldn't have gone to war with us, McCall.
You got it backwards. You're going to war with me.
Unleash the beast mode.
The mistake they made was it killed my friend.
There's no coming back from this.
We all got to pay for our sins.